Open up, Colorado. It's 420. Time to grind and burn.
This is not your son's stoner show.
Open up. Open up. Open up. Open up. Good news!
Hush now, baby, baby, don't you cry. Mama's gonna make all of your nightmares come true. Mama's gonna put all of her fears into you. Mama's gonna keep you right here under her wing. Won't let you fly, but she might let you sing. Mama's gonna keep baby close in her warm.
Welcome to Earth, my son.
I'm Elizabeth Jenks, and I am from Growing Green Consulting, and you can cultivate with confidence in our community.
And hi, I'm Tim from Growing Green Consulting. We've been in business since April of 2015, helping people in our community for 2 years.
So we're located in the state of Massachusetts. And right now in the state of Massachusetts, we voted to get medical marijuana legal 2.5 years ago. Dispensaries were supposed to have already been open, providing medication for patients. And unfortunately, in the 2.5 years, there's so much bureaucratic red tape and too many problems. Dispensaries are not open. Driving down the street that says, we are here to set up your pot shop. I mean, there's consulting businesses throughout this state that helping other businesses and some patients set up their grow rooms, but they have, signs all over everywhere. We're discreet. We don't have the signs and the bells and the whistles that say, look at us, look at who we are. And we know what it's like to need to also be open and honest.
And to provide an education.
So it's not just us sitting there saying, here's a plant, here's some dirt and water, have at it. It's learning about how to set up what the best way is going to be for your actual way of life, because every single person is an individual. You're going to have some people who want to grow outside, or some that grow inside, some who don't care. They can have plants on their dining room table, others that need to hide it from their kids for whatever reason, or from their in-laws, who knows. What we wish to do with this business is to be able to help people have that confidence to have their medicine growing in their home, wait for your medication to grow. So yes, you are going to be having an initial cost. You are going to have to sustain those plants for 4 months while you're still purchasing your medicine from a dispensary from somewhere else.
Both of us realized, we need to be in this industry at the ground level. And the best way that we know to be in there is to do the thing that we do best. What we do best is we talk to people. We convey our ideas through personal interaction, that connection, and you can teach people in a different way than you can using a book or using a video or using a classroom setting. You just learn differently, and especially people that don't have the social ability to reach out to someone or have someone in their lives to teach them. We can definitely be that person or fill that void for them.
I think you guys should really think about maybe going to a Washington or Colorado and just
Dude,
jump in.
You have no idea, man. It's a lot. Like, if we can talk on a personal level,
as opposed to our former professional status.
Here's my investigative reporting. Is your name Jay?
No.
Damn it.
But no, my name is not Jay. So is that your way of asking what my name is?
Yeah, because we don't even know your name, man.
My name is. You can find me on Facebook.
She's my biffle, my best friend for life. I love this girl, and she's really good. And biffle. I said biffle.
Come on, say what? Call, you all get shot. Bang.
We get the show via the podcast app through iTunes, and we listen to it on our phones mostly. In the garden, we listen to the show as soon as it comes out. Like that little red dot pops up on Saturdays usually. We usually listen to the show on Saturday. If we can't, we'll listen to it on Sunday. You know, as soon as we can. The next time we're gardening, we listen to it. And it's almost like you're hanging out in the garden with us, getting that plant therapy that we were talking about earlier. So you don't even know it, and you're getting it from the other side of the country, which is pretty neat. And you're giving our plants therapy too. They know your voice. They're talking to you. Same as all the other podcasts that we listen to in the garden. All of our plants are familiar with everybody's voices. It's like they have their own little community of friends and family that they visit with. Sometimes we listen to it in the car, you know, like if we don't have the opportunity to listen to it in the garden. But mostly it's gardening time for the Cannabis Community Project.
This is your final warning. This episode contains heavy talk about drug use and even the hint of active drug use. Listen at your own risk.
I belong in an asylum. These psychopathic tendencies tend to get the best of me. I've been exuberant since I was in the uterus, malignant like a tumor is servicing hysterectomies. Scalpel please for surgery. I cut precise as I murder beats. Why act humanized while humans lie? I'd rather protrude your mind and crucify these crucial lies. Independent forever, that's the vendetta, better bring Berettas. I'm acting reckless, call the paramedics. You should diet if you're diabetic, and you could die if you feel neglected. Cause in my city, gotta earn your stripes to feel respected. I'm next up, investing in and trying to buy Colorado. That's the motto where I'm from. Every day yelling out, ACO on the top of my lungs. I'm too ill. Everything in excess, living life luxurious, killing it, I'm notorious. I'm too ill. I think I need a flu shot, it's me against the world, feeling like I'm too ill. I get in where I fit in, MHTSXX, be the quick I'm bitch. Too ill.
And I'm too authentic in the
Usually what my experience has been also with outdoor bud under greenhouses, it does give you more of that pain relief in the body as far as like the sun and the natural light does something to the bud that makes THC convert more toward like CBD and CBN, less active THCs. I think that what you're saying, it might be absolutely right, man. Like you just feel it way more in your body than you were going to feel it in the head.
You know, that was my whole theory.
Regardless of the strain, I mean.
Right, it's the sun just draws it in.
I think so. It makes it converts the THC.
Yeah, that was my theory on, you know, prior to this whole explosion that's happening, like when Brick Swag was just being trucked up from Mexico, and people talk about back in the day, how we used to make them get up and then fall asleep and get the munchies. I think it was because it was outdoor grown, forest-like grown stuff, and then bricked together and trucked up in plastic. And by the time it got to the end user, it was probably a very low THC counts.
Super low.
Shit that you smoked, gave you the munchies, you pass out, and that was weed for the existence of what we knew when it was being cultivated.
Right.
And then around the 90s, kind of started changing to this whole movement of indoor growing and kind bud and chronic and everything coming in, and it changed. So if you're not happy with it, we'll just call that a review right there.
I mean, I don't want to try to put all these shits down. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
I'm not going to mention them by name or anything, so I'm not going to disparage
Okay. Well, that's fair enough.
Because
It's a fine Saturday afternoon. I am back hanging out with Diego from Colorado Wellness Inc. Out for another afternoon. We're going to do a test today. Grow test, some flower that was given to me, some flower and shatter. We're going to review it from the standpoint of a master grower, somebody who's been growing for a number of years. We'll review this product, see what's going on.
Why don't you do a little comparison with my shatter as well?
So how long have you been growing?
Let me see. 6, 7, 8 years now.
8 years now? And did you start from scratch?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. I didn't start in the way of like scratch, like as far as like
knowing nothing.
Knowing nothing, but essentially I created the grow from the ground up, essentially with help of a friend that had prior knowledge already. So I kind of got a little coached in essence how to do it. Just gave me the way, just didn't show me like all the way through type thing. Just showed me general idea of how to get it done, but I did it all.
When you started up there at Colorado Wellness, were you the main grower?
I was not.
You were not?
No.
So you had to take over for somebody else?
I did, yeah.
How does that work? When you come into a grow, is there different methods and techniques where you have to either start over somebody's?
Well, all of us have our own way of doing things, really, you know? So it's like, yeah, you can do all that, keep going the way they were going, your previous person that you took over for or whatever. Everybody has their own way of doing things. Everyone likes this or likes that type thing. So first thing I did is I went and I changed a few things that I didn't like that he was doing, and I kept a few things, that I liked that he was doing.
Right now, all your product is all in-house?
Yeah,
100%.
We don't outsource. Yeah, 100%. We don't sell anybody else outside leftover product pretty much, or if they have a shitload of it.
So when you're growing stuff, do you have a personal or a store criteria or something that goes, what's sellable to clients versus
like a standard of?
Yeah,
sure.
Something that's kind of like a documented process where you can, like somebody looks at something like, oh, this doesn't pass the test, like in a chocolate factory.
Well, yeah, you're exactly right. Like it goes through a processing line, kind of in a sense. Every bud gets just looked over again, and after it gets trimmed and dried and cured up, when it's ready to get jarred and sealed up, ready for the shelf, it goes through another process or whatever that they go through and check exactly for stuff like that. Just quality control.
What consists of a quality control?
Taking off any extra leaf, taking off any excess stem, taking off just stuff that shouldn't be on there. Sometimes the tops of the buds, they'll grow foxtails or, they'll grow like little shoots out of the side type thing. So just make the bud look good pretty much is all. A little better than it already does, really, but not over handling it.
Extra leaf and stem just causes extra burnt plant matter, or what is that?
No, it just doesn't look as good. So
it's just aesthetic.
Yeah, aesthetic. I mean, you buy with your eyes and your nose. 99% of us do in this industry anyways, and then after that, it's just like whether it gets you high or it tastes good or not.
Is there a certain crystallization you're looking for, or color or anything?
The color I like to look for is going to be similar to a milky to gold to amberish color on the trichomes.
Yeah, you have to get up close to really see, like magnifying glass, or you should see it by the eye.
Not always. You can see it by the eye if it's got good trichome production on the plant. You can see, like on some of this, you can see how it's just white inside there. It's a little bit of milk. It's a little bit more than milky's consistent. But on the bigger buds that you might have in there, you might see it'll start to turn amber.
That's when the THC is coming out of the plant into the...
It's converting itself. Yeah, it's turning itself back into like more of a less active THC into CBD and CBN.
So the darker that gets, the more CBD.
Yeah, the more body it gives you, in my opinion. The milkiness of the trichomes gives you more of that psychoactive head high and that like energetic filling type buzz.
What's the time frame in between that milky versus the amber?
It's days.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
so you got to be on the ball. You got to be.
It's days, yeah, man. It's like it's ripening is like when it starts to get real nice and milky. Like that's your ripening phase, pretty much. All your trichomes are going from clear to like a milky consistency, right?
Yeah.
And then from the milky consistency, it'll either go to like an amber or a deep like color, like a deep purple on some strains. Sometimes red. I've seen red head trichomes before on certain strains.
Oh wow! So even a strain that's very sativa dominant, if you leave it too long, it can become very CBD.
It can convert a little bit more. It can convert a little bit more. I wouldn't say it could become CBD heavy. I'm just saying it can convert that THC that's there over towards more of like a body type CBD CBN filling.
As a layman, as a non-grower, when I'm out looking at buds, what should I be looking at or looking for? Well, I mean, some guy hands me a jar and says, "Hey man, you want to buy this this, what should I really be looking at here to evaluate?
Just the structure of the bud, right? The density is something I like to look for.
Density, like when I squeeze it, it feels dense?
Yeah, it feels dense, because sometimes you can get a big bud that's fluffy and then you squeeze it and it could just like squeeze into powder or squeeze into dust type thing, So I like to look for a nice mixture of that squeeze and that spring back. The trichome effect, obviously, besides the obvious factors of buying with your nose and your eyes, I mean, if it looks good, smells good, it must taste good, right? I mean, it's not always the case.
We're looking at a bud here that I got that the guy said was grown outdoors, 100%, just under a greenhouse with plastic type tarp. Soil grown with pretty much just water for the feed. And this has kind of a darkish color to it. There's some, I don't know what you call those little strainy type things sticking out, the brown little stuff. This is a very dark color. It does have a little bit of density to it.
A little bit of squish to it,
feels
too,
a little
right?
moist though, almost. I noticed it with
a little bit of moisture
grinder.
contrast, yeah.
It didn't grind in my grinder. Usually my grinder, when I throw it in there, it'll come out in a nice ground. This stuff here gets jammed up and stuck in there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's
just being a little bit of moisture content left inside the bud from the curing process.
Like it wasn't left long enough, or
not necessarily. Just
it
just has a little bit more moisture in it than you want it to. Really, I mean,
I should leave this jar open.
You can leave it open. Also, like you could have got the bud. It could have been super dry, but then when you put it into the smaller jar, the jar being airtight will suck any of the moisture inside out of the bud. You know what I mean? It will suck any of that moisture out of the bud.
Hydrated it.
Yeah, in essence, it rehydrates itself pretty much.
Because when it does that, if you notice what it does to the pipe is after. Well, this one's not good, but when you smoke bud like that, it leaves a heavy plant material in the pipe. Whereas when you smoke stuff that's a little drier, maybe a little better, it leaves more of an ash.
It'll burn away.
Yeah. And this stuff is leaving a heavy plant.
Yeah.
Which means you're almost wasting it, because now for this, I mean, I could continue to smoke that, but I'd rather just pop it out and put a fresh bowl in there. So I'm kind of wasting probably a lot of it with that excess plant, man.
A little bit. I mean, another thing you'll notice with outdoor pot in general, it's going to have a darker tint to it anyways,
because of that sun you were talking about. That's pulling everything from the plant.
The sun changes the color for sure when it's grown outdoor, and you can totally see it whether it's greenhouse or it's just straight up outdoor in the sunlight.
Now, do you have any opinion about indoor versus outdoor as far as superior quality, or
I honestly feel like indoor is more superior just because of the controlled element factor. You're controlling every single thing, you're introducing everything to the plant, as opposed to natural elements getting introduced that you don't really want, or whatever the case is, unwanted heat or stress from other factors.
It becomes very delicate when you start doing it indoors.
It's harder to control outdoors. So it's just a little bit better indoor in my opinion, just because of those factors alone. You're able to control the elements.
I'm sure there's a group of people in Northern California screaming right now that.
I mean, like I said, that's just my opinion.
That's not true.
It's all started outdoor, obviously. I mean, but everything evolves, and I think if you're looking for superior quality, indoor is going to be where you're going to find it.
Now, does bud size have anything to do with quality, or is that just simply growing technique?
Well, that could be technique and genetics.
So these buds, the ones I got I was saying came probably in a solid 5-inch long with a good Yeah. I mean, it was probably a fist, thickness.
Sure.
It was. I mean, it was a good size bud.
Nice top cola, maybe.
Yeah, right. I mean, it was a fine looking bud, but that in itself is no indicator of quality of highness. I don't know what the technical word is.
No.
Maybe quality of growing technique, that the guy knows how to grow the plant, but maybe not.
No, like I said, the sun's pretty powerful as it is. So almost all strains, you're going to be able to get good production outside, regardless. You know what I mean? Just because of the strength of the sun. But necessarily growing indoor with a top cola doesn't always necessarily mean it's going to be the best out of the whole crop.
Right.
I personally don't even like the top colas. I used to early on in my career, starting this out. Like I used to always
they
keep
look
the top
cool.
colas. Yeah, because they're like big old buds, and nobody saw anything like that ever. And
good
like
photo ops.
Yeah, dude, they were great. You pull one of those out, and people are like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, where did you get that? Like, you know what I mean? People go apeshit for it. But nowadays, I've come to learn, like, I don't even look for top colas anymore. I'm looking for something a little bit more specific.
Well, some growers, how cut that top cola because of the timing of things, cut it early.
Yeah, because it's close. So what happens is when they're closer to the light or they're not affected by anything around them, as far as like undergrowth, for instance, be a lot lighter than the top, because the top's getting all the sun, right, and getting all that color, whereas the undergrowth is going to be really lime color and bright. You know what I mean?
Right.
So basically, you pick those early because they're done quick.
Like a pruning type process.
Yeah, and then what they're doing is they're opening the canopy for the underneath shit to get more of that light after the top has already been taken out, you know? Tops usually always develop and get more light right away, so they finish a little bit better.
Now, the idea of soil versus non-soil, I mean, to me, I've always heard soil is just simply a medium that the roots sit in. It's just something that support the holding of the roots.
It's just another medium to get you there, exactly.
That the feed itself is not necessarily one and the same as the soil. The soil is not necessarily the feed, and the feed isn't necessarily the soil, although they could be. It depends on what the setup is, but soil in a sense is just, you know, what is your plant, what's holding the roots in place?
Your medium,
and then what are you putting into that? So when you do your stuff, what are you adding additional nutrients and feed to your water?
Yeah, absolutely. I add different things to my water that I want to introduce into my root system, pretty much. Whereas some soils already have some of those beneficials inside of it.
Because the soil itself
has those micros and all the stuff in it that a plant needs to grow. The soil kind of can support it, but you can supplement that with other things, that other trace elements and stuff, you know, that aren't really in the soil.
Did you hear this story of a few of the dispensaries got shut down for using pesticides?
Live well is a big one, man.
Huge,
and
huge.
They're all over town. They're the home of the $99 ounce. They have 150,000 square foot growing facility, and I'm literally serious. 150,000 square feet for growing only.
I've talked to people through Medicine Man that have similar. There's similar, just massive.
So, in my belief, massive operation. They call themselves the Walmart of weed, right? So that just goes to tell you right there, if you have any idea what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But also another one was the Green Solutions that got another big one around town.
I bought from them the week before I saw that article, because they were right around the corner from my house.
All their plants have been confiscated right now because of this issue of using pesticides and harmful shit that you're not supposed to even consume. It's what happened.
Burn, make
dude. Totally, man. So
ironically, a week before, because they're right around the corner from my house, I went and checked them out. They had some decent price. I actually bought some Girl Scout cookies from there because when they said they had it reminded me of the last time I was with you. So I bought it, and it was giving me a headache. Like when you over smoke sometimes, headache. Yeah. It was giving me that headache, and it was really uncomfortable. And then the next week, I saw that Westward article come out, and I was like, holy shit, I just smoked some cancer stick.
Yeah, you absolutely did. And I mean, there's a lot of people out there like that are doing shit like this, and that's why I'm super skeptical about smoking any other fucking outside products.
You don't even know, because like the Live Wells and these other ones, is their dispensary names aren't under the growing names. Those warehouse grows are supplying dispensaries of different names.
Yeah, exactly.
So you go to Green Solution and they go, well, this one sucks, and you go next door to the Green Depot, and then all of a sudden you find out, oh, it's the same.
It's the same shit,
it's
right?
The same.
They got it from the same warehouse.
Right.
That warehouse is wholesaling out of town, and now all that shit's all over town now.
Yeah.
You know?
For your safety, we won't smoke this.
I mean...
Let's check out the shatter.
Check out the shatter.
So we also got some shatter from the same grower. I was not able to actually determine how he made it. The assumption is he's making it from his own grow, since he's a grower.
Right.
That was the assumption. So
my assumption would be butane extracted.
As most people are probably using, because, old school ice type stuff is just cumbersome, and alcohol type stuff
basically, what you're going to do...
Well, let's look at it first before we hit it. So give me just a visual. So you're well experienced with making shatters, waxes,
visual,
oils,
the color is
concentrates.
great. Color is what you're looking for.
What are you looking for in color?
The gold, clear.
So not a dark black.
No, you don't want it to be dark. You don't want it to be green. You don't want it to look... It should be...
Like it has plant matter in it. You don't
exactly.
Want it,
And you should...
Somebody showed me a jar one time of pure black stuff, and he was telling me that it was like the best of the best. I was like, why is it so black? He's like, because that's how the plant is. I was like, oh, so you're just putting the whole plant in there and grinding it? Or
there's so many processes and so many different things going on out there right now that maybe it could be the best of the best. I don't know. But in my experience, we've been extracting since 2009.
Okay.
All right? On a small time scale in our garage. Like, we didn't even know what we were doing.
Using what?
Using PVC. PVC tubing that I bought from my hardware store. Yeah, that we've made. We made our own tubes to start with PVC, Pyrex dishes. dishes, a double boiler, and
you're
some
doing the
leftover
standard
leaf, man. Yeah,
push gas through the top, push it out the end.
That's the
onto
only
a
way
plate,
we knew at the
boil
beginning.
it off.
Totally, dude. That's how we did it back then.
So terminology.
And people are doing that barely right now.
Give me some terminology. Wax, shatter, oil,
earwax, butter.
What am I?
Basically, the consistencies is what they're characterizing it as.
Okay.
But wax, shatter, it's all the same shit. It's all the same. It's all extracted THC.
Okay.
Period. It doesn't even matter. Regardless, where it gets the names from is the consistency that these guys are achieving.
So when I hear shatter, I expect to see or feel a hard,
rock, glassy consistency.
Right, like you're chipping off a
piece
chip.
of glass.
When I hear wax, I expect to maybe ball it up between my fingers and drop it in.
Look like a piece of earwax, right? And when you hear butter, you look like for like a
thing of butter.
Kind of like a creamier consistency where you can scoop.
With.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Real easy cut into it.
I've made butter at home, and that's worked out. I've never made shatter or wax myself. Obviously, you have to have equipment.
You're talking about the eating butter, though, is what you're talking about, right?
Right. Make it right. Extracting my own butter on the stovetop and then put it in the cookie mix.
Yeah, but what I'm saying when butter can be another name.
Okay.
Another name that they're called.
So not literally butter.
No. I'm saying they call butter. They can call this THC extraction butter as well because it turns like a consistency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, there you go. See, if I would have walked into a place and a guy, asked me if I want to buy butter, I would be thinking of just a butter extract
it's another
used to make
another
cookies.
name for the extract.
Okay.
Pretty much.
So this stuff here has
waterline, like I said, it's all extracted THC.
It's just how it turns out.
It's just how it turns out.
Whether it's softer or harder.
Exactly right.
So this stuff here has a hard. I'm feeling it's like a hard
so
candy.
this would characterize more as a shatter consistency.
Okay.
Right, because it's harder. It's got that clear, that almost like translucentness to it, where you can kind of see through it if you hold it up to the light. Yeah, basically.
Or amber color.
Yeah, exactly.
This is just pure trichome concentrate. It's
this should be pure THC.
Pulled off the plant,
strip, off the leaf,
condensed together, held together by its own molecules. Nothing else added to it. Mm-hmm. All the extraction fluid, whether it's alcohol or butane or whatever, it evaporated off.
Here's the deal, man. This is another thing that's going to be the next issue around town, and it already is an issue. You're getting a lot of amateurs that are doing this stuff that don't know what they're doing, just like I was back in 2009. And we don't know 100% sure that they've extracted all of the other chemicals and byproducts of the butane that are still could be left inside of this extract.
And there's no test for that. I can't drop it in a little...
I think there are tests for that, not for tests for you and I, but we can actually send this to a lab and get tested.
Now, is there a test we can do in smoking the product that would help us determine...
You'll be able to feel it as soon as you hit it.
Feel it like I'll smell gas,
not only will the smell be different, you can smell something else in there besides just the burning THC, right? You can also feel a coating, which will coat the inside of your mouth and your throat and give you like this kind of like a thick kind of waxiness inside of your mouth, chest area for inhaling.
That's how I feel when I smoke the Opens.
Yeah,
with the oils. It starts to feel oily, like
you will get some of that with some extractions. Open happens to be CO2 extraction, but that could be the glycol, the glycerin or whatever. Mm-hmm. The glycol, the glycerin that's inside to make the liquid go out.
Just sticking to you as it's going.
It could be that, right?
Which supposedly is non-toxic.
That's what they say. But who really knows?
So we're gonna burn this. What are we using to burn this with?
So we got our Eric Ross 4.0, one of my favorite pieces and one of my favorite blowers, man. His Glass is Supreme. This is a $750 piece right here, and it's simple. It hits really well.
So last time I was here, we did a little video that was really popular. People loved it.
Right, you went to the honey straw video. Yeah, we totally saw it. Yeah.
People love that video because it really showed up close. So let me do my best to try to get a...
Let me grab some ethanol extraction as well really quick so we can compare the two. So not only do I got some... here, let me show you what the butter consistency I'm showing you. So look at that.
We're looking at some different concentrates here, comparing shatter, butter, wax.
This is what we have at Colorado Wellness. Yeah. This is a butter consistency of the two OGs, which happens to be Super Sour Fire OG and the OG Limited. But if you notice the consistency...
So very different.
Very different from
shatter.
Exactly what we're comparing. This was the shatter consistency. This is the more the butter consistency here.
Nice. And we're going to use this rig here. What is this one?
This is a 4.0 with a double shower head inside here for the percolator or whatever, and this is the Smart Dab controller, just your basic analog heating mechanism that I've dialed in, so I kind of know exactly where it needs to go to burn off. And then we have a dome, so it eliminates the torch, exactly, you know what I mean? So we're not screwing around with the torch and causing issues. So basically we have this dome here, and then as soon as we're ready to dab, we put the dome over it and take a dab.
All right, are we ready?
If you are.
Okay, I'm ready, yeah.
Okay.
Since I brought it, I guess I should do it first, right?
If you want, that'd be swell.
That way if I keel over, you know not to take it.
Alright. So I'm not sure how big of a dab you want.
Kind of a small to medium size, because I've
like
never
that,
done
maybe?
this stuff either. I don't know his product.
So basically we're going to do it like that, and then you just turn around and hit the bong. I can hold that for you. And then you'll pull the slide. You're good. Pull the slide off of the nail there with the rubber, so you don't burn your hands. There you go. That's the only thing I don't like about it, is that we still have to use the slide, but overall it's still awesome. Yeah. So you can kind of see right there that the it didn't burn all the way completely, and that could be either because that's leftover byproduct of the wax, or it could be that the nail's not hot enough, that I don't have the right temperature for that liquid.
I did taste a slight aftertaste of
something that you don't think should have been there. Something a little different, right?
So there's the what's the rig called again?
This is a 4.0.
4.0 rig.
Eric Ross.
You got your butter and shatter, and this is all stuff you can find at your store?
You can't find butane extraction at my store, but you can find butter and shatter at my store, yeah.
And the rigs?
I don't sell the rigs anymore.
No rigs.
They're highly expensive. They're not for your everyday smoker.
But the concentrate you can find.
Oh yeah.
Colorado Wellness, Evans and Broadway, Denver.
So this is going to be the 2 OGs. So I can taste the OG Kush in that. Yeah. Whatever OG it is, I can taste it.
Wait, which one did you do?
This one right here, the butter.
Oh, you did your butter.
Yeah. Okay. So now that I just did the butter, though, I know I have the general taste in my mouth of what it should be like, right? I'm going to taste the other one, and I'll be able to tell you.
You need like a palate cleanser.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, in between some ginger.
Right, yeah. I wonder if it works the same.
So very light, smooth smoke on the ethanol extraction. No taste of ethanol. Super clean, man. I don't even really I don't have that waxy taste in my mouth.
And this is or that your coating own that extraction?
I get. This is an extraction that we do in-house at...
It's ethanol?
Yeah, this is an ethanol extraction. It's medical grade ethanol, or lab grade ethanol extraction.
Alright, so now you're going to compare that...
Now I'm going to compare that with...
shatter, which is unknown to exactly...
what extraction method it is.
Or even what it was made from.
Right.
I like how that just stays heated.
Notice how that didn't burn away all the way right there.
The black?
That's a butane extraction. Yeah, the black. See that little blackness right there?
What did you taste?
I taste something else. It's like it's on the back end.
Can you taste gas?
I wouldn't say gas, but it's definitely not bud or not. You know, not the terps that you're looking for. I don't know. It's like a burnt taste almost in a sense. Not really sure what I'm getting there. It's still pretty decent. Not really that not as much as coating as I thought it would leave. Mm-hmm. So that's a pretty good. It's a pretty good fucking extraction. Yeah, I know, right?
Different top. Everything looks like shatter pieces.
Yeah.
Dropping a bag of coke on a white carpet.
A little bit of something that didn't burn that I just scraped off the nail there.
I don't have any aftertaste on that. The other one, the shatter, I felt not a gassy something, a taste there, an aftertaste.
Right? Like strong or burn, like a burn taste to me is what it is. Yeah, and here's the deal with this shit though. It's just so strong. It's just like you just need a couple of these and you're fucking done. You know what I mean?
Holy shit! What is that?
This is gonna be a little bit.
Now that has a green.
Yeah, this has a greener.
So what is
so
this?
Basically, what they did is they stripped this one a little bit too long. Oh, this is the 3 OGs. So we just dabbed 2 OGs. So this is
two different OGs together.
Yep, and then this has 3 different OGs together.
The
OGs in general, generally the OGs, in my opinion, what I've noticed is they seem to be darker in general. Like the leaves are darker. Since it doesn't really produce produce much hair on the bud. It's all like kind of a bud. It tends to be a little darker. Not like dark like outdoor, but just it gives it a darker hue, and what I think. Some of my OG strains that I've had in times past. And I got a bunch of OGs upstairs that I could show you. Well, generally, you like to see those amber colors, like I said, those gold, those ambers. Usually don't like to see greens too much. Not to saying it's bad, but you should get this one too. Look at how
Thanks for listening to this week's show. Make sure to come back next week. We're going to have more guests lined up, speaking with dispensary owners, growers, business owners. Make sure to follow us on all of the social media, Facebook, Google+. You can listen to our shows live from the website or your preferred listening platform. Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spreaker, even YouTube, all under the same name, CannabisCommunityProject.com. We'll see you next week.